Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass have already proven their incompetence and poor leadership during the Los Angeles wildfires. Now, as we experience rampant lawlessness and civil unrest, it's never been more clear California's in a state of turmoil. And I ask my fellow Angelenos, why are Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass still in office?
Mel, any message from you to Governor Newsom or Karen Bass tonight?
Spend less on hair gel. That's it.
Yeah.
You know, what can I say to them? Not big admirer of either.
I don't like him.
Picture Gavin Newsom striding across the stage like California's self-proclaimed royalty, casually sipping a kale smoothie as if the world revolves around him. Suddenly, Mel Gibson enters with the intensity of a warrior ready for combat, instantly turning the moment into a scene straight out of Braveheart. Gibson dismantles Newsom's composure effortlessly. Even though Newsom might think his biggest challenges are just the city's chaotic potholes, this isn't a polite exchange. Gavin's car is already engulfed in flames, a full-blown accident scene unfolding around him. Gibson's words strike with relentless force. Like a wildfire sweeping through Malibu, he leaves Newsom in ruins, smoke, ashes, and that signature smirk, the only remnants.
We deserve much more and much better, and there is absolutely no adequate excuse the governor or mayor can make for this gross mismanagement and failure to preemptively deal with what they knew was coming.
But this is about more than just California's governor. In the soap opera As the State Burns, Gavin Newsom is the main character. Instead of guiding the state, he performs, turning every press conference into a competition for best responsible leader in a toothpaste commercial. He flashes that perfect smile while chaos erupts behind him, the punchline written all over his face. He's still perfecting the grin, adjusting angles, staring in the mirror while everything collapses. No real progress is made. It's a blooper reel of wasted talent, money, and common sense. Newsom poses on, obsessed with maintaining his shiny image, while California keeps missing its chances.
And Mel Gibson had some very interesting things to say about California Governor Gavin Newsom's failure to prepare the state for these catastrophic wildfires that are ravaging LA still.
In 2019, I think Newsom said, I'm going to take care of the forests and maintain the forests and do all that kind of stuff. He didn't do anything.
Didn't do anything, and then on top of that, they cut the water off.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it's all funny. And then I think all our tax dollars probably went for Gavin's hair gel. I don't know, but it's like, it's sad. It's like the place is just on.
Gavin Newsom practically writes his own punchlines, so if this political roast has made you laugh, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. He sports the hair of a shampoo ad model, the backbone of a jellyfish drifting with the tide, and the stance of a comic book hero. Picture him stepping into a pothole on a street full of them and confidently blaming the asphalt. Instead of moving on, he delivers a long speech about innovation and progress, completely unaware that he's become the joke in his own show. Every slip-up turns into a spectacle. Every mistake becomes headline news. The audience isn't applauding, they're laughing harder.
How much more of their destructive decision-making masquerading as leadership are we going to tolerate? It's time to take back our community and our state and put the power and the privilege in the hands of competent leaders whose goals are to protect us and the way of life this nation was founded upon and promises to offer. That's all.
The streets look like a dystopian film set, a gaping wound in California's landscape, bleeding billions. It's as if a director keeps yelling, "More chaos, more misery!" Gavin Newsom strides in while cameras roll, offering yet another idea that echoes the last. But the tents don't disappear. They multiply. Downtown San Francisco starts to resemble The Walking Dead. Families struggling, businesses fleeing as if the city were ablaze, neighborhoods crumbling. Elon Musk didn't just move Tesla, he drove to Texas with a grin, almost waving goodbye. Small business owners are abandoning California faster than passengers jumping from a sinking ship, weighed down by crushing regulations and sky-high taxes. Meanwhile, Gavin acts astonished, wondering aloud why anyone would leave a restaurant where a salad costs $20. Paychecks vanish under taxes, blackouts hit weekly, and yet the chaos keeps unfolding.
A lot of people have been coming out and calling out Gavin Newsom endlessly, and the biggest one of all is Mel Gibson. We all know that he is a very big, open critic of Gavin Newsom, and he continues to actually do that, and rightfully so, because we already know that there's a lot of issues going on right now within the state of...
Families are forced to pay sky-high rates just to sit in the dark, watching their food spoil and their money vanish thanks to California's blackout crisis, which has turned the state's power grid into an international punchline. Gavin Newsom proudly touts his green leadership, yet keeping the lights on often means buying electricity from other states. He calls it progress. Everyone else calls it embarrassing. Instead of roasting marshmallows, people are tossing hundreds of dollars worth of groceries and living like unwilling campers on an endless survival trip. The water situation is even grimmer. California sits between the ocean and the mountains, yet Gavin scolds homeowners every year for watering their lawns, as if saving fish matters more than saving farmers. Crops wither, reservoirs shrink, and the response is more rules, but no real solutions. Families cut back, farmers beg for aid, and Gavin shrugs. If Mel Gibson wanted to film another Mad Max, he wouldn't need a set. The devastation of California alone would supply the perfect scene.
Lost his house in these wildfires.
Yeah.
And what you just saw there was an effort to recall the governor and Mayor Bass. Does his star power in this matter?
It matters in the sense we're playing it now on national television on a highly rated Fox and Friends First show, and that has gone viral on social media. And meanwhile, the same day that Mel Gibson says what he says there, and he's correct on so many things as far as the management of wildfires, Gavin Newsom's approval on the handling of the wildfires is only 30%.
Gavin's pandemic response was a nationwide spectacle of failure. He insisted everyone else was exempt from restrictions. While businesses collapsed, children stared at frozen Zoom screens, and millions of Californians stayed trapped at home. Holidays, weddings, funerals, all canceled. Meanwhile, the governor was spotted sipping expensive wine in one of Napa's poshest restaurants. This wasn't just hypocrisy, it was masterful, grand-scale hypocrisy. Meanwhile, children's reading and math scores stayed alarmingly low in a state famous for Silicon Valley and massive wealth. Gavin insisted everything was under control, yet crime soared and crowds looted stores. Who was really in charge? Theft became a minor inconvenience, closing Walgreens, Target, and countless other businesses. Even buying something as simple as toothpaste started to feel like a bureaucratic ordeal. California was turning into a real-life video game under Gavin, Grand Theft Shopping Cart, where ordinary residents pay the price while thieves run wild.
Governor Gavin Newsom and LA Mayor Karen Bass, well, they were also suggesting that LA was under control. They had it covered while, of course, LA was essentially burning. And they've been blaming Donald Trump for all the chaos in LA, while Gavin Newsom has been trying to emerge as the strong leader of the Democrats as he eyes off the presidency in 3 years' time. But actor Mel Gibson has spoken out, blasting the governor and the mayor, rightfully so, for their disastrous leadership.
The biggest failure in Gavin Newsom's California: housing. A crisis so severe that owning property feels impossible for regular families. People are forced to pay outrageous rents that swallow their entire income, while young adults well into their 30s cram into tiny apartments with multiple roommates. And Gavin's main response? Another vague promise to build affordable housing, one that disappears faster than a campaign ad after Election Day. Meanwhile, millions remain trapped in debt and frustration as he cuts ribbons on shiny new developments that contain only a handful of units. It's like trying to stop a flood with a teacup. Yet Gavin continues to act like he's running for president, convinced America wants to be San Francisco, a place where stepping over needles is normal and $9 coffee during a blackout is acceptable. His leadership style resembles a campaign commercial masquerading as real governance. Asking him to run the nation would be like appointing the Titanic's captain to lead the Coast Guard. The irony is painful. Every setback gets spun as a victory. Every mistake is presented as a bold choice. A pothole, that's infrastructure reform. Failure doesn't exist in Gavin's world. It's just another program, and Californians are paying the price.
If I were giving the governor advice, I'd say, don't be so overt that people can see the wheels turning. The obvious question would be, well, you've been governor of California for 6 years. You were lieutenant governor for many years before that. When did you have this epiphany? And the answer is when he found that the Republicans could weaponize.
With the confidence of a Hollywood star, Newsom turns politics into his personal red carpet, where camera angles and lighting seem more important than actual leadership. California isn't under control. It's a Netflix drama shot on a discount budget, overpriced, overhyped, and abandoned by frustrated middle-class viewers. Despite a divided society, he portrays himself as the nation's moral compass, rolling through motorcades while denouncing big oil, preaching about injustice from mansions, and traveling the country to advance climate goals. He isn't a governor, he's the face of hypocrisy. During California's destructive wildfires, he appears like a bewildered extra in a Smokey the Bear PSA, showing up for the cameras with a tense, rehearsed demeanor. Because disaster is predictable, Californians brace for fire season every year like it's a blockbuster premiere, and instead of delivering real solutions, Gavin's response is usually just another press conference. Families lose everything, towns are reduced to ash. Yet, with the state burning behind him, Newsom keeps acting as though he's starring in a fashion ad. The California budget has become a financial black hole, swallowing billions of dollars for no clear reason. Gavin Newsom handles money like a child molding Play-Doh, even as Californians pay some of the nation's highest taxes. At first, it looks impressive, but soon half disappears, and the rest gets stuck somewhere it can't be used. Sacramento posts historic surpluses year after year, yet the moment roads crumble or schools deteriorate,
We have to do a better job. We need competent, good governance. Now, that doesn't mean you can't criticize the governor of California for, I think, some very bad decisions over a very long period of time. I mean, some of these reservoirs have been dry for 15, 20 years. The fire hydrants are being reported as going dry while the firefighters are...
The funds vanish. If this were a movie, it wouldn't be a comedy or tragedy. It would be Sacramento's Money Pit 2. Then there's Gavin's green dream, aiming to ban gas-powered cars by 2035, a fantasy in a state that can't keep the lights on. Imagine plugging in your electric vehicle only to discover the power is out. Welcome to Survivor Los Angeles, powered by Newsom's policies. It's pure hypocrisy. A state preaching smaller carbon footprints while relying on imported coal, and building a house nearly impossible. Families are broke before the first brick is laid, trapped in red tape, zoning hurdles, and skyrocketing costs. When housing collapses, Gavin acts surprised despite having built the maze himself. He's the barrier, the referee, and the heckler, while Californians bear the chaos. Gasoline prices are another punch to the wallet. Filling a tank in California feels like taking on debt. Texans fill up with ease, while Californians might have to sell a kidney for half a tank. Newsom ignores the layers of taxes and regulations he's imposed, instead blaming greedy energy companies. It's like scolding the fire after lighting your own house ablaze. For this roast, Mel Gibson wouldn't even need a script.
And look at Gavin Newsom. He tried to do this, was it a radio show, a podcast, whatever he tried to do. Now he's busy trolling on social media, and it's cringe, it's falling flat. I'm sure they'll come after me now, who cares? Because Donald Trump is one of one. Only he can do what he's done with social media, with podcasts, in the way he's done it. 900 rallies and count.
Just point to a California gas station and say, insert Oregon to proceed. Meanwhile, the exodus continues. Families, retirees, and businesses are fleeing to Texas, Florida, Arizona, anywhere but California. The recall vote showed widespread dissatisfaction. Staying in office wasn't a victory for Gavin. It was luck, pure survival by accident. Public safety is unraveling, and thefts under $950 are largely ignored, making smash and grab robberies routine. Gavin insists everything is fine, even as stores lock doors and toothpaste disappears behind glass. The Golden State has become a cautionary tale for exhausted parents, yet Gavin envisions the White House. He imagines America wanting to mirror San Francisco, banned plastic forks, tent cities, and outrageous gas prices as symbols of progress. His presidential ambition isn't reckless, it's a polished, confident dream wrapped in delusion. Gavin Newsom often boasts that California is leading the fight against climate change.
We see a lot of the cities that you can't conceal carry, or it's extremely hard to get concealed carry, or California being one of them, Illinois, New York. I mean, do you think that everyday citizens carrying a gun reduces crime or increases crime?
I think the evidence suggests the opposite. It increases the likelihood of a gun
The irony, however, is staggering. Each year, his green initiatives turn into a cruel joke as wildfires release more toxins than millions of cars combined, entire forests burn to the ground, yet he outlaws plastic straws. It's like detonating explosives across the neighborhood while bragging about recycling. Despite the chaos, he gives it his all, but not as a governor. Every crisis is an opportunity to pose, adjust his posture, and deliver a speech that seems freshly written for the cameras. Californians don't need another celebrity in Sacramento. They need a real leader. Yet Gavin has turned the state into a movie set, residents cast as extras, and believes that a tailored suit and a perfect smile can hide reality. Closed schools, skyrocketing costs, sidewalk tent cities, and families packing U-Hauls to escape. Mel Gibson wouldn't need a script or a punchline to lampoon Gavin.
He plays this slick little game of words. He doesn't say crime goes up, he says gun deaths go up. Why? Because that phrasing triggers your brain into thinking guns are the problem. But let's break that down. If you've got more guns in one state than the other, obviously the number of deaths involving guns is going to be higher in that state. That doesn't mean it's more dangerous. It just means the tools used are different. You know where the gun death rate is?
Just a mirror. Gavin's California is already a farce, and everyone knows how it ends. Clad in designer clothes and layers of hair gel, Gavin is a warning. California, once a land of dreams, has become a nightmare under his leadership. Rolling blackouts, crumbling roads, and prices so high even Beverly Hills flinches. He isn't in charge. He's selling dysfunction with a practiced grin, starring in a never-ending PR marathon. Astonishingly, Gavin seems to believe his presidential audition was a failure, as if the nation has been begging for California's disasters to spread nationwide. He frames blackouts, tent cities, and soaring taxes as personal victories and imagines himself in the White House. In reality, he is the political equivalent of a rejected pilot. Flashy, unwatchable, and over the top. History will remember him not for vision or leadership, but for the bitter irony of a man who seemed like a leader, yet acted like an invisible extra. The damage he's done to California will last for decades, even if his signature smile fades and his hair grows out. The state's future does not lie with Gavin Newsom. He is the blooper reel America never asked for, the inevitable punchline,